My name is Arthur Whitlock, captain of the 3rd Recon Unit, and the only surviving officer of what the world now calls the Ghost Battalion. For decades, I tried to forget what happened in the forests of Mont-Serein. But the dead don't forget. And sometimes, they write back. It began 3 weeks ago, when I received a letter signed by Private Thomas Hale, a young man who died in 1945. The envelope was old, yellowed, its edges fragile, as if it had been carried through time itself. Inside were only 2 sentences. Captain, we never left the woods. Come back for us. No explanation, no address, just that. I flew to France the very next morning. The moment I stepped off the plane, the air felt heavier, as if the land itself remembered something I didn't. I hired a car and drove north, following the old dirt road that once led our battalion into the trees, the same road where I had last seen my men alive. Or what I thought was alive. Mont-Serein was just as I remembered. Silent, dense, unwelcoming. The wind didn't pass through the branches. It circled them, as if the forest exhaled on its own. And when I stepped between the trees, the temperature dropped. Not a breeze, not a draft. A sudden, bone-deep cold. Something ancient lived here, something patient. I walked deeper. Hours passed. Then I heard them. Boots, marching, dozens of them. Left, right, steady, militarily precise. I whispered into the darkness. Thomas? The footsteps stopped instantly. And then, a voice answered. Captain, you came back. A silhouette emerged between the trees, uniform intact, boots polished, helmet shining like it was brand new. But the man cast no shadow. It was Private Hale, exactly as he had been in 1945, not a day older. He saluted me, and my chest tightened. Where are the others? I asked. He pointed deeper into the forest. They're waiting, sir. One by one, shapes began to appear. Soldiers, my soldiers, their faces pale, their eyes hollow, their bodies unaged, frozen in the moment of their deaths. They surrounded me in complete silence, not hostile, not friendly, just waiting. Thomas spoke again. His voice sounded like it came from somewhere far behind him. We didn't die, Captain. Not here. What happened then? I asked. He looked down, as if ashamed. We were taken. By whom? The forest answered for him. Branches cracked, roots shifted. The ground trembled like something beneath it had awakened. Not what, where. The forest itself had taken them. Thomas stepped closer. We marched into sacred ground. We weren't meant to. We weren't allowed to leave. I felt a chill run down my spine. You mean you're trapped? No, he said softly. We're kept. A pause, then he added, and now, so are you. A figure stepped out from behind the trees. German uniform, old, stained, but the man's face, youthful, alive, and smiling. He spoke perfect English. You brought yourself back to us, Captain. How thoughtful. I recognized him instantly. Oberleutnant Erich Kruger, missing since 45. Assumed dead, but he hadn't died. He had been chosen, just like my men. Kruger walked in a slow circle around me. This forest doesn't take life, he said. It preserves it. It feeds on memory, regret, unfinished war. Thomas stood beside him like a servant. My pulse pounded. They weren't alive. They weren't dead. They were maintained. Kruger leaned closer. You can join them, lead them again, guide them through eternity. I shook my head. They're soldiers, I said, not prisoners. His smile faded. They are exactly what this place requires. I turned and ran. Branches slashed at my arms. Footsteps thundered behind me. Not running, but marching. The same rhythm. Left, right, Right. My battalion was following me, pursuing me, or escorting me. I couldn't tell which. I broke into a clearing where the moonlight hit the ground like a spotlight. The air vibrated. The trees leaned inward. The forest wanted a decision. Thomas stepped forward. "Captain, don't leave us again." His voice cracked. For the first time, he sounded human. I stared at my men. Men I had led into hell. Men who trusted me until the end. Men who still stood at attention, awaiting orders. Decades later, I whispered, "I'm sorry," and I stepped back. The ground opened beneath them. Roots wrapped around their legs, their faces twisted, not in pain, but in disappointment. I had failed them again. Their voices rose in unison. "Captain." Then they were gone. Kruger screamed. His youthful face cracked like old porcelain. He lunged forward. But the forest took him next, dragged him into the earth, silenced him. He had served his purpose, and now he was discarded. The trees bent away from me. The cold vanished. The air softened. A whisper passed through the leaves. Go. Not merciful, not forgiving, just releasing. I walked until sunrise. When I reached the road, the forest looked ordinary, peaceful, a lie. I knew what slept inside, and I knew it would never die. I filed an official statement. Site secure, no anomalies detected. No one questioned it. No one wanted to. Some truths must remain buried. Last night, another letter arrived. Same handwriting, same paper, same impossible sender. But this time, only one sentence. Captain, the march continues. I burned the letter. But ashes don't forget. And neither does the forest.